Welcome to the Jean Monnet Network PROSPER. The following clip features a video from the PROSPER Network event that took place on the 14th of June 2025 in Magdeburg, Germany. We hope you enjoy.
Welcome, Dr. Tiziano Zgaga. We have invited you to the PROSPER Network because you've written a highly exciting book for our theme and for the topic of PROSPER, which is the fiscal governance of the European Union, overcoming the stability paradigm with a question mark. What was your motivation to write this book?
Thank you very much, Professor Heidbreder. I'm very glad to be here and to talk about my book. My main motivation was that so much has happened on EU fiscal integration over the last 25 years. And particularly now, the EU is facing some new challenges. So my motivation was to reconstruct the path of EU fiscal integration over the last 25 years from an increasing set of strict rules to a trend of more and more flexibility of these rules. And in particular, I was also triggered by the most recent events of 2025 that put the EU in front of new challenges and therefore require also a rethinking of these EU fiscal rules.
And now I must admit, I'm more lucky than those who watch this because I could already read the book. And you really meticulously take apart the development of the fiscal rules and analytically putting them into 7 phases, basically, and then explaining these changes through changing fiscal ideas. What are these phases and what are the key ideas behind these changing EU fiscal rules?
Thank you for this question. My idea was to identify analytically different phases of EU fiscal integration, of what I call the paradigm of EU fiscal integration. And this phase started in 1992 when the Economic and Monetary Union was set up and when you have the birth of this EU fiscal regulation paradigm. And so then this is the first phase which I call the setting up of fiscal regulation. Then you observe that this paradigm gets secured, it gets strengthened during the euro crisis, and interestingly afterwards you start questioning this paradigm. The EU suspended it during the COVID-19 pandemic, and ultimately you had a debate in 2023-2024 to reform this EU fiscal regulation paradigm through the reform of the Stability and Growth Pact. And now in 2025 we are at a point where we ask the question as researcher whether this EU fiscal paradigm has actually eventually been overcome and replaced by a new paradigm.
So we have a strong paradigm on fiscal rules that are straight. We have a lot of crises running. The paradigm is staying in place. And now we are in a situation where maybe everything can change. Or what is your outlook now finishing the book really very recently in 2025?
Well, my main argument in this book has been that you have seen a set of different and competing fiscal ideas over the trajectory of this fiscal regulation paradigm. And these ideas have changed the paradigm to the extent that you have, for instance, examples of fiscal ideas are increased flexibility or country-specific differentiation in the application of the rules or national ownership of the rules. And now, in 2025, we observed again a new flexibility of the fiscal rules to allow for more defense spending at the national level. And so my concluding argument in this book would be that the paradigm of fiscal regulation is a multi-ideational paradigm that has been changed a lot And also the main goal of this paradigm, which is stability, meaning sustainable public finance and budgetary discipline, this stability goal has been challenged and severely questioned. And now we don't have an alternative paradigm still, but we have security as a very important goal that has challenged stability. So you don't have a new competing paradigm of fiscal regulation. The old stability paradigm has not been completely overcome. Only the future will tell, but we are, as I mentioned at the beginning, for sure at a critical juncture of rethinking of the old fiscal rules.
Thank you so much, Tiziano. So for anyone who's interested in how these fiscal rules came about, how they changed, and in particular how these competing fiscal ideas developed and grew, and who wants to be prepared to understand the next steps will come, this is a real recommendation. When can we expect the book?
In September this year.
Okay, so as from September 2025, we will have further debates about it in a greater public. Thank you, Tiziano.
Thank you, Professor Heidbreder.